Alright, that's one world explored. The question I have is, are the gene stealers on all the worlds in this system, or were they just going to be... Did they stay on that single planet? I guess we'll find out. If you have someone centered on boosting rate of fire, it can be useful, but even then there are better. Yeah. 7 plasteel. I just don't need more plasteel. There's plasteel everywhere. It's funny that I have a mission, a contract, to give up... What is it? I thought it was... No, maybe it's one of the building upgrades on one of my planets, where it's trade one of these gears that are super rare mechanisms for 3 plasteel. And I'm just like, no, plasteel is everywhere. If I need more plasteel, I can just go to any rock and it's full plasteel. Why would I give up a rare resource for that? But I also hate leaving one of my planets. There's 2 more plasteel. I hate leaving one of my planets not running a mission. But that mission is so worthless. Always run out of chemicals in phlogiston. Yeah, I'm low on phlogiston. I've got some chemicals. I wonder how much of that is randomness of what you find, or what missions give you, etc. And how much of it is set in stone, or based on mission choices. Don't know. A small planet, gently wrapped in amber forest, greets you with a ruby-colored dawn. Basil von dem Klerk, the local governor, gives the rogue trader a warm welcome. After several glasses of Damascene, the sweltering ruler asks if Ignatius von Valentius would like to keep him company during the upcoming hunt. Sure. I have no reason not to go hunting with the planetary governor. After several hours of riding the local peculiar animals, you make camp in the middle of a golden forest. Basil von dem Klerk points at the sky. A flat disc rises over the horizon, constantly morphing its color and shape. The forest grows silent and empty. You can no longer hear the singing of birds or even the rustle of wind. The governor nods with satisfaction, and a few shapes step into the clearing. Their bodies are twisted by an unknown phenomenon, and you watch the freaks with astonishment as they begin to dance to the throaty cackling of their brethren, turning the bony growths and pulsating flesh of their scaly hands towards the unnatural thing in the sky. Yeah, this seems very heretical. Ask the governor what's going on. Order your men to eliminate the mutants. Tempting, or watch in silence. Let's first ask what's going on before we decide to butcher all of you. The governor smiles coyly. You are about to see with your own eyes what is happening here. Do I just eliminate them without understanding? Or do I try and watch to understand in the hopes that there is an explanation that doesn't require me to butcher them? You watch the freaks with astonishment as they began to dance to their throaty cackling of their brother, and turning their bony growths and pulsating flesh of their scaly hands towards the unnatural thing in the sky. So, my fear is that we're looking at gene stealers. Scaly flesh, bony growths. But you would think at this point, we've run into them enough times, I would hope that the game would say, okay, if you're running into gene stealers, Tyranids, whatever we want to call them, can't the game finally start telling me that's what they are, rather than just weird mutants? Because it's like, weird mutants I'm somewhat okay with. If they're gene stealers, I want them dead. I don't know. I'm going to watch in silence. I'm giving the governor the benefit of the doubt temporarily, with the hope that if it is heretical, I will get the option afterwards to remove them. Like, once I know more, can I still make that choice? I don't know. The hypnotic dance seemed to continue forever. The unfortunate creatures howled, whined, and convulsed, unable to tear their bleeding eyes from the celestial body. When the Pavonine disk outshone even the light of the local star, the physical shells of the things that used to be men burst, releasing beasts onto this plane that not even the most fluent and capable pen could describe. Basil von dem Klerk excitedly explains that the creatures you saw are the children of the great King of Distortion. It is he who is the true god and patron of these fertile grounds. Once every cycle, his chariot shines its light upon the world and bestows transformations upon his most ardent followers. The rogue trader may become one of his heralds. Yeah, execute on the spot. The true god and patron? Clearly he doesn't worship the god emperor, and that is grounds for death as a planetary governor. Execute the governor on the spot. Express the desire to become the herald of the King of Distortion. No. Thank the governor and leave the planet. Nope. You die on the spot. The governor's head separates from his neck with a distinctive squelch. Black and brown blood seeps into the soil beneath his corpulent body and is immediately transformed into a writhing tangle of worms that burrow deep into the ground with unnatural speed. You return to the ship, pondering what to do with the world, and more importantly, what to do with this King of Distortion. Order that the crew chart a course to the anomaly known as the King of Distortion, or leave the world alone. No, let's go to the King of Distortion. The senior officers observe suspicious activity emanating from the twisted celestial body at the heart of the system. The chaplain advises you to get ready for a potential encounter with spawn of the archenemy, so it may be wise to reconsider unless you have holy relics, sacred wards, or blessed effigies of the Emperor. A flame with a plethora of colors, the distorted celestial disk trembles slightly beyond the endless window of the captain's bridge as the rogue trader's ship approaches its center. An otherworldly voice, cold and enveloping, enters your mind. What could this puny wretch possibly offer a king? I offer you nothing but death. The officers on the bridge look perplexed. Their eyes are full of terror and confusion. Many clutch their heads and let out long howls of pain. Some empty their stomachs. But most, pale and exhausted though they are, have joined the Lord Captain in resisting the entity's influence. We took 10 physical damage to our ship. Ask who you're talking to. Command the entity to release the minds of the Amber Worlders from its grip. Say you wish to become the herald of the King of Distortion or leave the entity alone. Ask who you're talking to. An endless flow of images fills your consciousness. You see horrifying scenes of millions of tortured souls. Their screams rend your mind. Their pain pierces you with 1,000 red-hot needles. King, ruler, the one who is obeyed. That's all you can make sense of, although you see much more. Command the entity to release the minds of the Amber Worlders from its grip. The king's mocking laughter rings in your ears, and a deep red trickle runs slowly from your nose and over your lips, leaving an aftertaste of salt and metal. Yeah, I'm a sanctioned psyker. Headaches, etc. don't bother me. Attack the entity with every cannon on board. Order a ship-wide 1,000-voice prayer service over holy relics for the protection of Amberworld, the Imperium, and your own souls. Or leave. So this will cost us 1 cargo of holy gifts. I think that is the far more interesting option than just blasting it with every cannon. We will get everyone on the ship to start praying for the protection of this world and the Imperium. And we discovered holy gifts? We used holy gifts. Okay. Did I use holy gifts and gain 2 more cargo of holy gifts? Because if so, cool. Deafening gong strikes are heard across hundreds of decks. Your eyes are misted with red. Your gums bleed as your subjects fall to their knees all at once in a shared prayer to the God Emperor. The holy relics from the ship's temples melt from the ardor of your speech, and the entity screams and writhes inside your brain, struggling to break out. Acquired cargo 2 holy gifts. Many drop dead during the first minutes of prayer, unable to resist the corruption. However, others immediately take their place, unfazed by the sight of their fellows turning to dust in seconds. Then a nauseating stench engulfs the ship's decks like a wave, causing people to retch forth their innards. Finally, every deck is plunged into darkness. Ghosts of the past walk among the living, stealing breath from those weak of spirit, and still the prayer is not extinguished. It is hard to tell if the prayer service has lasted several hours or several days. At some point, you feel your very essence overflow with the heat and power, and then the intruding will falters. The distorted disc vanishes from the voidship's augers, as if it had never been there, and at long last, everything is quiet. As everyone slowly recovers from what just happened, reports begin to come in to the captain's bridge. You've lost a third of your crew in the unequal fight, and the fortunate survivors are going to take some time to come round. All hail the rogue trader. Unexplored. We can go back now. A golden forest of Amberworld. Or the golden forests of Amberworld look enchanting, even from orbit. Proclaim yourself sovereign of Amberworld, demand tribute from Amberworld, or leave the world alone. We will proclaim ourselves the sovereign of Amberworld. If no other rogue trader has claimed it, I am going to. We can use our authority to enforce that sort of chaos worship to not happen again. And we get a mobile extractium. Nice. From that moment, the world belongs to the rogue trader alone. Your people eradicated the settlement's housing and unclean followers of the profane cult. The corruption instilled by the King of Distortion loosened its grip, and the estates of the Amberworld can breathe a sigh of relief thanks to the efforts of their new ruler. Yet malicious servants of the archenemy still lurk in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to wrap the planet in a web of heresy. Evil does not simply disappear without a trace. We will also demand tribute. They've given us nearly one cargo hold of provisions. And another mobile extractium, it looks like. Relieved to be free from the archenemy's yoke, the planet's subjects gratefully send you their humble gifts. So we now have 9 extractiums, it sounds like. And you're telling me there's another unseen event? No. No, we still have only 5. I thought we were up at like 7 before this started, then we just gained the one from here and then another one. Maybe I'm miscounting or misremembering. Either way, this sadly did not become another world of our protectorate, which is what I was hoping for. But I guess that's this whole system scanned. So we have an Eldari cache here. One of these was the system that we were told the Dark Eldars were waiting for us in. They gave us a specific name. I want to say it was Lapidus Mortis, but I'm not confident of that. And I think the quest just kind of says in these locations. Yeah. So they could be... Or maybe he said Cineris Malefictum. And he didn't give me the specific system. That could be as well. What are you? The corruption of hidden gene-stealer cults has permeated the Koronus Expanse. This contagion is a danger to all worlds, so its source must be discovered. The corruption of genetic aberrations could have spread across many worlds and ships. Each case of contamination must be documented. The cult of the Nourishers, tainted with genetic corruption, was discovered on the planet Jesavon. Yes. We don't know where else we will find them. And one of our companion quests, before I finish Chapter 2, because we are getting closer to ending it. Kiava Gamma, fine. Last Chance of Cyrene, I think, is where we are here. So, sure, let's make it unsafe. Don't want to waste too many of our points. And then travel to the Last Chance of Cyrene. The engine decks were transformed into exotic gardens. Several chambers sprouted foliage, vaguely resembling the plants on Terra. Although they exhibited a glass-like surface polished to mirror sheen. Thought it said grass. While reflections in the plants perfectly copied the surrounding objects, they did not show a single living being. Those who peered into them saw grotesque, blood-covered creatures instead, not unlike bloated abyssal fish with a pair of clawed limbs, sometimes more. Unable to destroy the sinister growth, the voidsmen covered it with plasteel hoods until leaving the Imperium, finally ridding the vessel of the corruption. By the God Emperor's grace, no perils of the warp prevented the vessel from returning to real space. Alright, is this where we're going to have our fight with the Drukhari? An unidentified object has been located in the system. The artifact reacts to our transmissions by releasing unknown radiation, most likely xeno origin. The cogs are reporting. If you want to get a closer look, we need to close the distance between the vessel and the object. So that's our xeno artifact. Is that going to be another warp gate for the Eldar? Here's our stash of the Children of Asaurian. I guess we might as well pick that up first. There's a Hulk over here with more loot. Scorpion Chainsword. So that is a one-handed Eldari weapon. Looks pretty good for, you know, people that use Eldari weaponry, which is Jai and her. And she's definitely not a melee character. Cloak of Shadows. Whenever the wearer deals damage with an attack of opportunity, which is not very often, they gain the Shrouded effect. This effect does not stack. As long as the wearer has the Shrouded effect, when becoming the target of an attack, they automatically dodge after the Shrouded effect is removed. Huh. That doesn't seem terribly impressive either. Getting free dodge is nice, but it's only when you manage to do damage with an attack of opportunity. And we just don't have ways of making enemies provoke attacks of opportunity easily. This is tempting to use on really anyone. But I'm thinking my main character, because it means I wouldn't take the fire damage the first 3 times in combat, which could be cool. But I don't think that's critical. I think we'll just hold on to those things. I don't know if I'm going to use them necessarily. I think before I go to the Hulk, let's examine the planets first. Nothing here. This looks like it might be another burning world. Nope. More of nothing, an ash world. Promethium we don't need. It's another resource we have far too much of, and an event. At first, it looked like the snowy and desolate planet was devoid of surprises, but the yellow and orange flickering of the lumens and the notifications from the auger system informed the officers there was a small colony that survived in spite of the harsh climatic conditions. All attempts to hail the colony have failed. Send out a scouting party or just leave it alone? Let's send out a scouting party. The explorers report the dismal conditions of the settlement and its inhabitants. Their skin is translucent and pale. Their icy blue eyes see practically no color. Their language is rough and guttural, and their stomachs cannot tolerate anything except stew made from the local roots and mosses. And yet, they are subjects of the Imperium, still loyal to the Emperor. They have mistaken your people for his emissaries. I mean, we are the Emperor's emissaries, so it's not a mistake. Find out what happened to the world. The local elders woefully reminisce about times long gone. Most of them were still sheltered in their mothers' wombs when the snow first settled on the verdant field. Hail ruined the crops, and frost hardened the soil. Plants and large beasts that could not sustain themselves were the first to go. They were soon followed by birds and other small animals. Most people in large cities perished, unable to warm themselves and their families. They say the governor and his entourage left the world in the first days of winter, taking all the provisions and fuel with them. No one responded to the pleas from this dying world. The stars remained deaf to the messages transmitted by the planet's Vox stations. These abandoned subjects of the Imperium still managed to save the machines and other valuables, but they were of little use without a supply of promethium. You have promethium. The planet has 4 promethium that can be mined. And yet, those who survived eventually adapted to the tribulations that the God Emperor had bestowed upon them. So they could have kept the machines running if they knew how to mine promethium. Taking machinery from the colonists and abandon them to the freezing world? Wow! Give the unfortunate people a gift of promethium and send tech priests to perform the rites of generator maintenance, which will cost us 1 fuel, or abandon the freezing colony. I mean, I wish we could invite them to serve on our ship. You know, abandon this world because apparently the world's basically dying, and give them a home on our void ship, which may not be necessarily to the liking, but probably is better than the life they've lived. But if we can't bring them onto our ship, we will help them survive on their planet. So yeah, send some promethium and send down the tech priests to perform the rites of generator maintenance. When the maw of the first generator belched forth a furious roar of black ash started falling from the sky instead of snow, the locals laughed and danced. Trying to warm their limbs after decades of cold, they called down blessings upon their unseen savior, a rogue trader from the Von Valentius dynasty, and thanked the God Emperor for their fortuitous encounter. We gained 2 Mechanicus creations, 1 melee weapon cargo, half full, and then 75% of a armor kit. The explorer's departure was accompanied by shouts of grateful approval, not to mention their many parting gifts. Okay. Cool. Let's, again, avoid the Xeno artifact for now. And check out the Hulk, which just has some ship components. Nice and simple. Alright, Xeno artifact. Are we going to fight our space battle here? It doesn't show that there's a battle here, but this definitely looks like an alien. Yeah, webway gate. Region, Cineris Maleficum. Material, internal void ship communications log. Lookout. Bridge, we have an unknown object dead ahead. Not an asteroid, clearly artificial in nature, but it's larger than Footfall Station. Bridge, copy that. Report relayed to officer on duty and pilots. Lookout, expect visual soon. Bridge, we have visual. What the incoherent whispering? Bridge, lookout, this is the Voxmaster. I'm adding the pilots, senior officers, and the Lord Captain to this channel. His Lordship wishes to assume personal command. Lord Captain, we have requested intel on the object from the Augur Ray module, waiting their response. Lord Xenos succeeded. Lord Captain on the line. No need to engage the augurs. I know what it is. It's called a webway gate. Or we can do a tech use. Lord Captain on the line. What do the augurs show? Lord Captain on the line. What is the senior officer's take on this? Lord Captain on the line. We won't investigate. All weapons fire on the object. Ha! Let's get away from the thing. So yeah, Pascal was able to make that check. So it didn't have to be us. It's called a webway gate. Officer Station, Van Calyx here. What we see before us is a webway gate, an artifact that Xenos used to get to their sorceress realm, so to speak. It allows Eldari to get around the sector quickly and serves as a hideout for their most unpleasant tribe, the Drukhari, whom we have already met. Officer Station, Iliad here. This gate is just like the one you saw on the Lelathan. The children of Asturian wander the void through such constructs, erected in ancient times. Any ship that passes through such a portal will enter a tangle of paths fathomable to none but my kin. Tech use, is there an augur report? I mean, we already said we don't need an augur report, I already know what it is. But I guess we can then ask, but did we get one anyway? Is there an augur report? According to available data, the object consists of an unknown material foreign to the Imperium. We are registering an unknown class of energy profile. The engine seers are at a loss about how this technology works exactly, but they did specify that the ergonometry suggests that the system is holding an active charge. The object appears ready to do whatever it was designed to do. What is the senior officer's take on this? Ben Calix here. What we see before us is a webway gate. Yes, You're just repeating yourselves, that's fine. Can we activate this device somehow? Ugh. All weapons fire on the object. Enough mysteries. We're changing course and moving out. Would I want to just immediately fire on this? It would protect us from the Drukhari more so. It would probably also prevent the Asuryan. We found the Asuryan's cache of resources here, so it sounds more likely that this was used by the Asuryan rather than the Drukhari, but we don't actually know that. Could we activate the device somehow? Requesting response from the Enginarium. Bridge, apologies, Lord Captain. The tech priests have refused even to consider such a possibility. It would be a violation of the Omnisci's tenets and an extremely dangerous undertaking. Perhaps a certain companion of yours could. Officer Station, even if I knew the secrets of this gate, I would never surrender it to the Monkey. Webway is our kin's sacred refuge and a deadly trap to those such as you, Alantok. Do we fire on the object? How much is that going to annoy Irliet? I think it makes the most sense. The Drukhari are the big enemies, and trying to help out Irliet, we don't know about if there are even any others of her kind. Leaving that big of a, essentially, gate, as what it is, directly into this sector for enemies of humanity is a risk I don't see much benefit in taking. All weapons fire on the object. Lord Captain's orders, destroying the object, activate batteries, targeting, firing, 3, 2, 1, confirming contact with the object, good thrown, bridge report. No effect. I don't know what that thing is made of, but our weapons are powerless against it. Interesting. Well then, I guess enough mysteries. We're changing course and moving out. Yes, Lord Captain, maneuvering engines, changing course. There's a report from the engine seers on the auger deck, detecting an energy spike of an unknown nature, cogitator network overloaded, peripheral systems offline. Confirming visual changes, the gate, what is that? Lord Captain, we are detecting activity near the object. Observations indicate that the signatures are very similar to ships. Lord Captain, xenos ships. Yeah. Drukhari just came out. So, is this where he asked us to have our fight with him? Right at a gateway where they can just call in more reinforcements. That's probably bad. I mean, we did say it was going to be a trap that he had stacked in his odds. Like, stacked the odds in his favor. So battle stations fire the sacred ordnance on one of the targets. Or pull back, prepared for a warp jump. I'm tempted to run for now. Because we could try this, which we would succeed. Go to battle stations. Demolitions, we would likely succeed. But a fight here feels silly at the moment. I'd rather check out the other system first, if possible. Then maybe we can come back here. But I assume if we succeed at this check, which we're going to, we get some sort of bonus in the fight that we wouldn't if we just went there and fought them. Oh, this is such a bad idea. Let's go into the fight. We can run from a fight, I think. I've never figured out how, but I believe it's a thing. Oh, it's such a bad idea. Battle stations. Coercion test succeeded. Lord Captain's orders. Prepare for maneuvering. Shields to max. Engines to max. Fire on the enemy. On my mark only. Wait, what is that? Lord Captain, alert. Another xenos ship inbound. Must be a boarding party. Bridge, what? Where did it come from? Look, it was hiding nearby. It closed in undetected while we were distracted by the construct. It's right by us. It's aiming for the engines module. Lord Captain, emergency. Confirming contact with the enemy ship in the engine area. Confirm. Okay, are we having a battle with Drukhari in our engine bays before we then deal with the ship-to-ship battle?
Their efforts will be for naught.
No, we're starting with the ship-to-ship battle. Do we... Because I know there's a penalty we can apply to others of having ongoing damage in the engines because of people landing on board. But no, that doesn't seem to be the case. So that's our ally. We've got the two of them. And that's everyone currently in this fight. They have their shields up, so if we want good accuracy, we need to be within 2 squares. So that hits them, that obviously can hit them. With these... If I was here... No, that wouldn't hit. Though I could potentially strafe. Or I could strafe now, shove myself over here, then move forward to say like here. Hopefully get the close range benefits for accuracy. Because right now, yeah, we're 26%. So if we got to like here, somewhere in there to get the close range bonuses, that should still allow us to turn, hit them with one of our sides. 4 shots doing 21, 3 shots doing 33, or we could do the Ionic Blast to take out the shields. Which is tempting. Alright, yeah, we're gonna do that. Let's strafe over to here, just to start out with. Then if we go here, is that going to be close enough for the short range shot percentage? I'm hoping so. It is not. So we need to get a little bit closer. We're wanting to shoot with the right side, so let's... If we go here... Oh, right, that's... That stops us from being able to hit with our front gun. Okay, if I went here, then I probably have to end there. I don't know if I'd be able to get my shot angle. I think I'm just gonna have to take this one at a low chance, which makes me sad. Because I need to end up like here. Yeah. I think we just got to take this shot where we are, which is a shame.
This one goes down.
Hey, we got a hit. Nearly destroyed. Okay. I didn't realize you had no health. Only 60 health. Okay. Well, that changes things a bit. So if we go here, I guess we just fire. Only 26% still. That's definitely close enough that that should overcome your shields. What's going on? The shadow field. Enemies suffer a minus 25% chance to hit when attacking from within 2 cell range. 75 penalty, chance to hit when attacking from outside that range. Surely that counts as being within the 2 cells. If I was here, still 26. Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, we need to do 3 damage, so I might as well go for the 4. Oh, I can't. Obviously, I can't shoot from that side. Well, might as well go for this. I don't know why you're still at the 26%. Maybe if I actually complete the move, the numbers will update. There we go. Yeah, 63 now. Okay, fine, whatever.
Fire right now!
There you go. You're done. You're facing forward. If I warped ahead, I don't think I'm gonna... No, I'm not gonna be at an angle where I could actually shoot you with that one, unfortunately. But I would be close enough that I should be able to hit you with this. So let's have you warp forward. Yeah, barely out of range there. But this will hit 63%.
Another victory of 2 great dynasties, Lord Captain.
Okay. New ship showed up. We are top of the initiative. Fun. Let's go here. Kind of do what we just did.
This one's going down.
So you're nearly dead. Then that'll give me that shot. Or do I go for the 4 shots? I think I go for the 4 damage. Or the 4 shots. It's being the better choice. So you go there, take those shots.
Another victory for the von Valencia's dynasty.
Okay, we've got another enemy showing up. They're all really weak ships, which I'm not terribly upset by, but I am moderately confused by. So I could make that turn to get myself lined up. Possibly even warp jump to get closer if I need to, but I doubt I will. I could instead go with this. Have maybe a different angle. No, I think this probably makes the most sense.
Onward.
Just go there. We'll use our forward shot as usual.
Lead them.
A lot less damage, unfortunately.
This one's going down.
They pale before our mastery of the void.
How many of you am I going to have to kill?
Set the
Because
course.
I'm not really struggling. It's just going through a lot of you.
Lead them. Fire the lance batteries. Enemy
Blessed are the
contact.
faithful.
All hands, make ready to unleash our fury.
Alright, where are you? Okay, now we're on to a bigger ship, but still only 90 health. I'm here. Yep, you're definitely within that range and that range. So I guess we just keep doing what we're doing.
This one goes down.
There's a good amount of damage. You also didn't put on your shadow field.
Fire the lance batteries.
Nearly dead, but not quite. I could warp forward. I guess I shall. Yeah. Maybe I should have done warp wave. See if I could have killed them just by warp turning them. That might have been the smarter call. 'Cause that doesn't really help me getting up here.
Torpedoes locked.
Launch a boarding party. We haven't tried that yet. Left him at 1 hit point. That is a shame. And yeah, there's nothing I can do to help out with any of that. Okay. So that's the end of our turn. You guys, take a shot, please.
None will lament their demise. A worthy deed.
That was an incredibly easy fight. Here I was scared about having to deal with the Drukhari here at this gate. And they were zero threat.